We could begin to close our eyes or find a soft gaze. Letting yourself arrive to your seat, letting go of the past experiences that led you here, letting go of what you're going to do after you get out of yoga, and just trying to be in this present moment. And it's nice to bring your awareness to your breath. That kind of helps if you're feeling a little bit scattered. Just notice your inhales and your exhales. You don't have to change your breath. But as you bring your awareness and you witness your breath, it probably will begin to even out and slow down. So as your breath begins to settle, just bring your attention to your thoughts and your feelings. And try to be an outside observer of these thoughts and feelings. So you're not labeling anything as good or bad. You're not trying to push thoughts out of your mind. You're not trying to attach to very pleasant thoughts. You're just witnessing them. Find it fascinating. Maybe as you observe some thoughts and feelings, you can come to the conclusion or realization that you can let some of them go. Let them float away. You could bring your awareness to your body, your physical form. Maybe you want to do a scan from your toes all the way up to your head, to the top of your head. And just notice any areas in your body that might need your attention. And then return your awareness back to your breath. Noticing your inhale and your exhale. And now I'd like to invite you to set an intention for your practice. Just let it naturally arise. It could even be a dedication to yourself. And we'll come back to this intention as you move through your practice. Just to, whenever you notice your mind is beginning to wander, and it will just help you bring you back to why you're here. Now we could go ahead and we'll keep our eyes open. And we'll warm up a little bit before we move into our yin shapes. So we'll do some stuff here still seated. So you can you might want to cross your legs just so your feet don't fall asleep or your legs don't fall asleep. And we'll warm up the neck a little bit here. So we'll walk the right hand out. So the right fingertips come out. So they're just right on the floor. And you'll inhale nice and tall. And then you exhale, drop the left ear towards the left shoulder. Now try not to lean. Keep the fingertips on the floor. You want this nice side stretch on the right side of the neck. And just having your fingers out to the right can help deepen that stretch a little bit. So just breathe here. Breathe through the nose. Really breathe through the nose and move on. Nice deep breath in. And exhale, you could bring the head back to center. You could bring the hands back to wherever feels comfortable on your legs or your lap. Take a pause here. And then we'll walk the left fingertips out. So you'll bring the left fingertips out on the floor. Inhale nice and tall. And then exhale, slowly bring that right ear towards the right shoulder. Putting a nice stretch on the left side of the neck. Nice breath in. And exhale, bring you back to center. You could bring that left hand back in. We'll open the shoulders a little bit. We'll inhale the arms out wide. And then on your exhale, you cross that right arm in front of your body. And then you take the left arm and you wrap it around the front of that right arm. So you're drawing that right arm in. And this is a deltoid stretch. So this should feel good at the top of the right shoulder, the back of the right shoulder. And when you inhale, that right shoulder comes up a little bit, but on the exhale, let it drop away. So we'll take several rounds of breath here. Nice breath in. And then your exhale, you slowly take a pause there. Just let your arms relax for a moment. And then your next breath in, we bring them out in a T. We'll do the other side by crossing that left arm in front, wrapping that right arm around, and drawing that left arm in, and letting that left shoulder drop away on those exhales. Nice deltoid stretch. Nice breath in. And then exhale, unwind the arms. Just let them relax on your legs or by your side, wherever feels comfortable. Take a pause. And we'll inhale here. And on the exhale, you'll twist to the right. So the right fingertips come on the floor behind you. Left hand on that right side for leverage. Then turn your gaze over the right shoulder. So on your inhales, you're lengthening your spine. On your exhale, maybe you twist just a little bit deeper. Feel like a pulsation. You might come out of the twist and you inhale and lengthen, but then your exhale, you twist a little deeper. Your next exhale, you can come back to center, slowly and long. Inhale. And then we'll exhale, twist to the left. So left fingertips on the floor behind, right hand on that left side for leverage. Gaze over the left shoulder, lengthening and twisting deeper on the exhale. And then our next exhale, we unwind back to center. Take a pause. And we'll make our way to our child's pose. So if you're cross-legged, one way you can do that is bring the hands on the floor, come up on the knees and unwind. Or if that doesn't work for you, come into your child's pose, whoever feels good to you. So this could be a child's pose of your choice. So knees can be together. Another variation is big toes touching, knees wide. So just whatever feels good to your body this morning, do that. But I want you to push those hips towards the heels, forehead towards the earth, and you're reaching long through the fingertips. And with each inhale, you're expanding into the back of the body, the backs of the lungs, the lower spine. Bringing fresh oxygen to the kidneys. And then we'll come up a little bit and you'll walk your hands to the right off of the mat. And then you'll come back down. So you're stretching on the left side of the body. So push that left hip back towards that left heel. Nice stretch the whole left side of the body here. Forehead comes down towards the ground. It doesn't have to touch the ground. And then you can walk the hands back to center. And then go ahead and walk them off to the left. Tack that right hip back towards that right heel. Stretch on the right side of the body. And then we could walk those hands back to center. Take a pause here. Hang out in your child's pose. I have to grab a bolster. I'll be right back. And then when you're ready, you can go ahead, come up to seated on your heels. So you'll just walk your hands towards your body. So they seated on your heels. And this will be our first in shape. And I will give you two options for this one. Okay. So one is Sphinx. So Sphinx is just coming down on your belly and being up on your elbows. Sometimes it feels good. What I like to do is an upside down Sphinx. So you can take your bolster and you'll come around and bring your lower back up to it. Maybe not quite up against the bolster. I want your shoulders to be in line with the top of the bolster. And you'll probably need something for your head. So go ahead, grab something for that too, a block, a blanket. And have your knees bent so you got flat on the floor at first. So this bolster is in line, the top of the bolster in line with the top of the shoulders. Now your arms can be down by your side, like in this low, wide position. You can have them open wider in a T, somewhere in between. So it's not as deep as a back bend as a Sphinx. So it's just up to you what you want to let your body do this morning. And I will set the timer here. We'll be here for 5 full minutes. I will let you know when we're halfway through the hold. Now, if it's okay for your lower back, only if this feels okay to your lower back, you could lengthen your legs long. But if that becomes uncomfortable or it's not a good sensation for your lower back, go ahead, bend your knees again and bring your feet flat on the floor. It takes pressure off that lower back. So this is a nice heart opener, a little bit of a gentle back bend. And once you set yourself up into whatever pose you're doing, either Sphinx or this upside down version of Sphinx, come into that stillness. That is our yin practice, where we come into the pose and then we hold it for a length of time and we resolve to be still. Keeping your awareness on your breath. And just being aware of how your body changes as you hold the shape over time. Noticing the sensations you're experiencing. Relaxing into it. Releasing. Receiving. Relax your hands. Relax your face. So we are at that halfway point in the hold. Just notice, if you need to make a readjustment, that's fine. Maybe you feel your body settling a little bit deeper into the shape. Noticing where your mind wants to wander. Just gently bring it back to the breath. We can begin to make our way out. First, bend your knees, bring your feet flat on the floor if you're not already. And this way, it'll help you roll off your bolster. So roll to one side, and you can use your hands for support. And you can go ahead and move that bolster out of the way. And come back around into your child's pose. So in this, when in between our long held poses, we have these poses in between that are usually counter poses. So we had that little bit of a back bend, right? So our spine was compressing, our lower back was compressing. Now we're rounding in that lower back and we're expanding in between the vertebrae. So this should feel pretty good. And I don't set a timer in between. We just hang out here for about a minute. Just letting our bodies rebound from that long held shape, right? From being in that shape for 5 minutes. This allows our body to reset, noticing how you feel after coming out of that shape, just being really aware of what your body feels like and where you feel it. All right, so let's walk our hands in so we're back to seated on our heels. And then we'll go ahead and let your hips come off of your heels and you can bring your feet around. And we'll bring the soles of our feet together. So we'll set up for our Baddha Konasana, butterfly. And I do recommend having the bolster in front of you for support. Now, there's different ways we can set ourselves up here for our bound angle. So soles of the feet together. Now, you can have those heels really close in towards your body. You'll feel that stretch in the inner thighs. Or you can bring the heels farther away. And then you'll have more of a diamond shape here, and you'll feel it more in the outer hips, less on the inner thighs. So you decide where you want your feet to be, okay? And then this bolster can be on top of your legs so that when we fold forward, you can rest your body on it. And other ways you can bring your bolster like this, so you can rest your head like that, and rest your head. So those are different options for you. So we begin sitting up nice and tall, nice breath in, and then exhale slowly, fold forward. Resume height. This is our bound angle. So this is a nice hip opener. And the reason why in yin we like to support ourselves, we like to use bolsters, we like to hold our poses over time, is because we want our muscles to relax. Okay, so in our yang practice, we're engaging our muscles. In our yin practice, we want, as much as we can, our muscles in our body to completely relax, because yin is about joint work. It's about getting fluid to the joints. It's called synovial fluid. So it helps lubricate our joints. If our muscles are tight or engaged, it takes fluid away from our joints. So another benefit of yin is that connective tissue. It's called fascia. It's throughout our body. It's kind of elastic. So it could get stiff, it could get tight, and like a rubber band that tightens up. But as we stretch here and over time, as we hold these poses, that tissue begins to become more pliable, begins to stretch. So specifically in this pose, we have that tissue that surrounds our hip joints. This pose gently stretches that connective tissue and just makes it more flexible. So that when we're walking around, we feel a little more at ease. We are at that halfway point in the hold. So not only do we get these physical benefits from our practice, but there's many other metaphysical benefits. And for our bound angle, we're cultivating our inner nourishment. Allow tension in your hips to be released on your exhales. Letting go, going deeper, relaxing. Just about 30 more seconds left if you want to stay for the full time. Okie dokie, let's make our way out. So slowly roll up. When we come out of our yin shapes, want to move real slow. Make sudden movement. We can move that booster out of the way. And we can unwind our legs, extend them. So come back on your hands for support. Just notice how that feels to your hips. Come out of that long held shape. So here I invite you to do whatever feels good as you're just hanging out here. So some things I like to do is roll my ankles around, give the ankles some love. So keep awareness on your hips, just noticing how they feel. So you just flex and point your feet, that's another thing that's good. Or you could just be still. Just take this time for you, just doing whatever feels good to your body. So I'd like us to get more into the hips. So let's come into pigeon. So you could bring both feet by one hip so that you could come up to your hands and knees. Well, it's known as swan in yin yoga. So we come into our swan. So we're on our hands and knees, right? So we'll bring the right knee up towards that right wrist, and you'll slide this left leg back. And now you'll have to come over onto that right hip so you can bring this right heel out in front of you, and then turn those hips back towards the front of the mat. Now, when you turn the hips back towards the front of the mat, you want this right hip to be on the floor. And if it isn't, I recommend placing a blanket underneath of it for support. So take your time, set yourself up here before we fold, right? Before we come into our sleeping swan. And you want this left foot, the top of the left foot on the floor, the left toe is pointed straight back behind you. So don't let them turn in or out. They're straight back behind you. And then we inhale nice and tall. And then we exhale, fold. Now you can rest on your forearms, or maybe you come all the way down to your forehead. So just be careful of your knee here. If you have knee issues, you can come on your back, actually, and do a figure four. So we'll be here for 3 minutes on each side. They're not as long as those other shapes, but I still want you to really find that deep letting go. This is a nice deep hip opener. So just notice what comes up for you. We do hold a lot of stress in our hips, emotional and physical. So sometimes thoughts may come up, feelings, and just witness them. And release on the exhale. So here we're cultivating a peaceful heart. We are at the halfway point in the heart. You may want to imagine inhaling from the sole of your left foot up into your hips and pelvis. And then as you exhale, you soften and relax your pelvis and thighs down into the earth. So in our yin practice, we want to be aware if we notice if we're resisting, if we're holding. We want to be aware of that and see if we can relax and let go. When you're ready, you could go ahead and begin to make your way back up. Moving slow. You can use your hands to come back up. And then you can roll onto that right hip. And this way you could slide that right leg back. And you could come back up to hands and knees. Taking a pause here, taking whatever feels good to your body. Notice how that right hip feels compared to the left. You could push back into a child pose if you like. You can come down onto your belly. Sometimes it feels good to tuck the toes and come into a down dog. Again, I want you to do whatever feels good to your body here before we move to the next side. Sometimes when we come out of those intense shapes, you feel a rush of energy. That's what they call the rebound. Sometimes you feel a release. You're like, this is good to get out of that shape. And that's great. Experience it. Relish it. And then when you're ready, you can take your time. We'll come to the second side. So we'll bring that left knee up towards the left wrist. We slide the right leg back. So keep in mind, we're not symmetrical. So you come down onto that left hip and draw that left heel away, turn the hips back towards the front of the mat, using your props as necessary. But again, keep in mind that maybe the left hip is not exactly the same as the right hip, and you might have to make different adjustments. And then we inhale, come up nice and tall, and then exhale, fold onto the forearms or the forehead. You could keep a flex in that left foot if your left knee is feeling a little weird. That helps protect the knee. Or you could relax that left foot if your left knee is okay. And then come into that stillness. Relax your jaw, relax your hands. You really don't need the hands here for anything. So let your fingers, your hands relax. Just being aware of where you're feeling it in your body, probably that left hip the most. Sometimes if something's really intense, we will tense up in another part of the body. For instance, the jaw. That's why I say relax the jaw. And if your breath isn't coming smoothly, you feel like your breath is kind of it's hard to breathe, that's another indication maybe you've gone too far and you need to come out and make a modification. We are a little bit past the halfway point in the hold. So again, you might want to imagine inhaling through the sole of the right foot all the way up to your hips, your pelvis. And then your exhale, you soften the hips and pelvis down towards the earth. Just about 1 or 2 more deep breaths here. And then on that next breath in, you slowly use your hands to push yourself up. And you can roll onto that left hip. This time, use the hand behind the right thigh and you can bring that right leg around in front. Extend that left leg. And you can hang out here if you like, just allowing your left hip to realign, noticing how it feels compared to the right. Eventually, I would like us to make our way all the way onto our back with the knees bent, feet flat on the floor. So take your time. We're not in a hurry here. Again, it's about just moving really slow, slowing it down. Right? We're always in a hurry in our lives, it seems like anyway. Just being settled here on your back. So we'll do a few things before we move into our next long shape. I like to break it up a little bit. So walk your feet as wide as your yoga mat. Your arms can be out at a comfortable distance from your body, and let the knees fall over to the right as you turn your head to the left. And then you inhale, bring the knees up through center, and exhale them, let them fall to the left, turn your head to the right. So moving with your breath, go back and forth, windshield wiper back and forth. So this is a nice gentle inner rotation of the hips and outer rotation. And it's good for the back of your head, your neck. Move with your breath. The next time your knees fall to the left, you can inhale and back to center. Take a pause there. And we'll hug both knees in. So you're rounding in that lower back. And then we'll bring our feet up towards the sky, right? So like the soles of your feet are parallel to the ceiling. Open your knees out. Reach in between your legs. Grab onto the outer soles of your feet. Draw your knees down. There's your happy baby. I'm not setting a timer here. So it might feel good to rock back and forth, and it feels good on your lower back. Or maybe you just like being still here, drawing those knees down towards your armpit. And breathe. Enjoy your happy baby here. And then we'll bring the soles of the feet together. And then you can release your feet, bring them flat on the floor again. And then we'll roll over to one side. So with your knees bent, you can roll over to one side, kind of like a fetal position. And then push your way back up to seated. And now we'll make our way into our next long pose, which will be a forward fold. So for my forward fold, I like to sit up on the edge of a blanket, like this, folded like this, because it helps my hips tilt forward. The main thing about your forward fold is you don't want to fold like this, right? This is not a forward fold that you want to do. You want to have a nice long spine and then fold forward, and then you can round in the upper spine. So that's what sitting up on a blanket helps with me. And we'll bend the right knee and bring the sole of the right foot into the left thigh. Turn towards the camera here. There we go. And then you have your bolster nearby. So go ahead, grab a hold of that. So this is Janu Shirshasana, head to knee. We turn our torso towards that left leg. We engage the left leg. We flex the left foot to begin with. So then we'll get to the relaxation part. I like to have the bolster on top of my thigh so that when I fold over, I can relax on it. Now, again, you can have different ways you can do it. You could do it like that too, or just on top. Some people like to do that. So those are your options. So we'll begin nice and tall, leg engaged, deep breath in, and then exhale, folding forward. So towards that left knee. And now you can relax that left foot, relax the left leg. So Janu means knee in Sanskrit. Shirsha means head. Asana means posture. So Janu Shirshasana. This helps cultivate peacefulness. It helps traction and lengthen the spine. Massages the abdominal organs. We are just a little bit past the halfway point. Here you can inhale, drawing the breath into the sole of your left foot all the way up to the crown of your head. And then as you exhale, let it travel back down and out through the sole of that left foot. Really just surrender into your fold here. Letting go. All right, let's go ahead and inhale back up to center. You can move the bolster off to the side, but have it handy for the other leg. Unwind with the right leg. Take a pause. And again, take whatever feels good to your body here. I don't give much of a pause in between Janu Shirshasana because it's not super intense. It's more relaxing. So let's go ahead and make our way to the other side. We'll put that left sole of that left foot in the thigh of the right leg. A little tongue tied there for a minute. So setting ourselves up for the other side and bringing that bolster on top of our leg. Engaging that right leg, flexing the right foot. Turn your torso over to the right. Inhaling tall. And then exhaling, folding over. Relaxing the right foot, relaxing the right leg. We are at the halfway point. Notice where'd your mind wander off to and just gently bring it back. Imagining inhaling through the sole of the right foot all the way up to the crown of the head and exhaling back down and out. So with this new moon and all this energy that you may be feeling, you want to start a whole bunch of new things or get to things that you've been putting off. It's nice to just take this pause and sort it out. You don't have to rush. You can calm down and take your time and think about what you're doing. All right, let's go ahead and inhale our way out. Move that bolster off to the side, unwind that left leg. Just take whatever feels good here. I'd like us to do one more forward fold. So you can stay seated on that blanket if you're on a blanket. So for this one, we'll do seated angle. This is where we open the legs out and fold down the center. So only open as wide as feels good to your body. Bring that bolster back in between the legs so you have something to fold over. And as always, we begin with the muscles engaged, feet flexed. Sitting up nice and tall. We don't want to hurt our lower back here. And then we exhale, fold over that bolster. And then once you're folded over and you're rounded in that upper spine, you can relax the feet and the legs. So the feet may roll in a direction, and that's okay. Just let them roll however they roll. Now we'll be here for longer. We'll be here for about 5 minutes. So take your time, set yourself up. Once you get there, go ahead and find that stillness. Breathing. It's fine if you need a little bit of a bend in your knees. It's healthy for your body. So this is our Upavista Konasana, seated angle. We're cultivating reverence to the earth here. We're lengthening the hamstrings, opening the hips, the outer hips, lengthening the spine. This is also really calming for the nervous system. We're at that halfway point in the hold. Here you can inhale from the soles of your feet all the way up to the crown of your head. Exhale, allow it to go down and out through the soles of your feet. Releasing tension, surrendering. Just less than a minute here if we want to stay for the full time. All right, let's go ahead and inhale our way back up slowly to center. Move this bolster up to the side. Keep your legs wide just for now. We'll do another side stretch. So we'll walk the right hand. You can slide it down the front of that right leg and inhale this left arm up overhead. You can turn your gaze up towards that left thumb. Just take about 3 deep breaths here. And then you exhale, come back up to center. And then we'll slide this left arm down. Inhale, right arm up overhead. Nice stretch on the right side of the body. 3 deep breaths. And come back up to center. Then you can bring your hands underneath your thighs. That can help bring your legs back together. And we'll make our way onto our backs once again. Take your time. Once you get on your back, I would like you to hug your knees into your chest. Nice grounding. You can rock back and forth. That's help massage that lower back. And that probably feels good. Or you can bring your hands on top of your knees and stir your knees around one direction and then the other. This is just whatever feels good to you. It's your body. You have to go home with it. You don't have to match me exactly. And then go ahead, bring your feet flat on the floor. And before we come into our next long held shapes, let's do the windshield wiper again. So the feet go as wide as the yoga mat. Arms can be out in a T. And then you could let the knees fall to the right on your exhale, head turns to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, knees fall to the left, head turns to the right. So moving with your breath and moving slow, not in a rush. Enjoy not being in a rush here. The next time your knees fall to the right, we'll come into our twist. So gaze is over to the left. It doesn't have to be all the way to the left. If that feels uncomfortable to your neck, you can just come into a neutral so you're gazing up at the ceiling. But if you gaze all the way to the left, that's a full spinal twist here. Now you could stay right here. If your knees are struggling to reach the floor, you could place a blanket underneath that right knee for support. And if you want a little more, be careful of your lower back. You can hook that right ankle on top of that left thigh. No, it's not necessary. It's not a requirement. It's only if it feels good. We'll be here for about 5 minutes, so make sure you're supported and you feel okay that you can hold this pose for this long enough. And if at any time you need to come out, you can come out, readjust. So in our twist, we cultivate self-healing. It's also calming to the nervous system. It's also, twists are also good for, especially when we're lying on our back, these particular twists. It helps to open the rib cage. You can breathe more easily. We are halfway through the hold. I'd like to remind us that yin poses are meditation poses. So maybe it's a good time to come back to your intention. We keep awareness on our breath. We keep awareness on our bodies. It's a practice, right? We never, that's it. I've achieved meditation, done. We're always practicing. Keeping our awareness on our breath and our body and our mind. All right, go ahead and unhook that ankle if you have it hooked. Slowly bring the knees back up. When you get there, keep the feet as wide as the yoga mat. Let the knees fall in so that the knees are touching. Just pause here, let your body realign, let your spine reset, let it relax. Allow your lower back to settle towards the earth. And then we'll let the knees open back up again, so they're as wide as the yoga mat, and then let them fall over to the left. So both knees fall over to the left, and then you a block or blanket underneath that left knee. Arms are open wide. If it's safe for your neck, if it feels good, you can turn your gaze over to the right. And then if it's okay for your lower back, you can hook that left ankle on top of that right thigh. Well, if at any time, I say come into your stillness, and I also like to remind us we don't need to be statues either. So if you need to readjust something as you're holding your shape, go ahead and readjust. It's okay. You might even become aware of how it might feel a little different on this side. We are at the halfway point in the hold. Less than a minute to go. All right, go ahead and unhook that ankle. Slowly bring the knees back up. Keep the feet as wide as the mat. Allow the knees to fall in. Just pause here, allowing your spine to resettle. Taking your time, let's go ahead, hug the knees in now, grounding that lower back. This should feel pretty good because that particular twist is intense on the lower back. So this should feel nice. Give yourself a nice little massage here. If it feels okay for your neck and shoulders, you can bring your forehead towards your knees. Just really scrunch up in a little ball. Maybe even scrunch up your face. Deep breath in and then exhale. Release it all. And you can come into your Shavasana, the final resting shape. So here you're going to let everything go. So for Shavasana, we have our heels as wide as the yoga mat, and we allow our feet to roll open, and our hands are palms facing up. They're down by our side, a nice distance away from your body. A little slight tuck of your chin just to allow your cervical spine to be neutral. Then you're just really letting everything go. You're letting the earth support you. You're even letting your meditation go. Would you like a blanket out of this? You want to be warm. This really allows your muscles to really let go. Okay. And allow your mind to relax. It probably wants to plan what you're going to eat for lunch. Let your thoughts bubble up. Let them drift away. Shavasana is very important. It allows our body to receive the benefits of our practice. It balances all of our body systems, especially the nervous system, the endocrine, and the digestive system. Relax the forehead and the eyes. Relax the ears, the jaw. Reconnect with you when it is time. You can begin to gently reawaken, making small movements with your hands or feet. It might feel good to gently turn your head side to side, slowly reawakening. Eventually, you'll bend one knee and then the other, and you'll roll onto whatever side feels good. Taking a pause. And then if you can keep your eyes closed or maybe you have them slightly open, push your way up into your easy meditation seat and we'll close our practice. If you find your easy seat, go ahead, turn your awareness again inward as we did at the beginning. And just notice any subtle shifts in your body, your breath, and your mind compared to the opening meditation. And if you like, you can bring your hands together to heart center and Anjali Mudra. May your practice benefit you as well as all beings, and you take the benefits of your practice throughout your day and throughout your week. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste.